Is there any other Republican who has your views on this?
Well, I have Republicans who come to me on the floor and say, I wish I could vote with you today. Yours is the right vote, but I would just take too much flack back home. And I have Republicans who come to me and say, that's wrong what AIPAC is doing to you. Let me talk to my AIPAC person. By the way, everybody but me.
My AIPAC person, also known as my pimp.
As an AIPAC person.
What does that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC. They're probably a constituent in your district, but they are, firmly embedded in AIPAC. And
every member has something like this?
I don't know how it works on the Democrat side, but that's how it works on the Republican side. And when they come to DC, you go have lunch with them. And they've got your cell number and you have conversations with them. So I've had
that's absolutely crazy.
I've had 4 members of Congress say,
every single congressman and woman has an AIPAC guy or girl. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States government is the real country that is under Zionist occupation, not only Palestine. Congress is under occupation. Pat Buchanan, you guys don't know him, you're young, who's a right-wing, at that time considered right-wing extremist. You say that he said we have to first liberate the occupation. The Congress is the other occupation territory of Israel. If you are representing people in the United States, you were sent to help Americans and solve their problems with jobs and issues and climate change and make good laws. Why does everyone has a fucking AIPAC guy? This is unbelievable stuff, man. This is cannot be real. This is mind-boggling, man. It's unbelievable, man. I can't imagine if every congressman had a Palestinian guy. Imagine. Huh?
I'll talk to my AIPAC person, and it's literally what we call them, my AIPAC guy. I'll talk to my AIPAC guy and see if I can get him to, dial those ads back.
Why have I never heard this before?
It doesn't benefit anybody. Why would they want to tell their constituents that they've basically got a buddy system with somebody who's representing a foreign country? It doesn't benefit the congressman for people to know that, so they're not going to tell you that.
Have you seen any other country do anything like this? Like
no.
Russia obviously determines the outcome of our elections. We keep hearing that. Does anyone have a Putin guy that they talk to?
Not only do they not have a Putin guy, look, they don't have a Britain guy. They don't have an Australian guy. They don't have a Germany dude. Like, it's the only country that does this, that has somebody that uniformly, I guarantee there's some spreadsheet at AIPAC where the AIPAC dude who's matched up with the congressman is there, and then all the congressman's votes on the issue. Oh, has the congressman been to Israel? Yes. They pay for trips for congressmen and their spouses to go to Israel.
That's corruption 101. It's corruption 101. That if you're an organization that's lobbying, are given free trips to Israel, free hotel, free food, free air, that's a bribe. This is bribery 101.
I'm not the only Republican who hasn't taken the AIPAC trip to Israel, but I'm probably one of a dozen that hasn't taken that trip, and the other ones just haven't got around to it.
What's the trip like? Do you know?
It's kind of like, I think, vacation-y. You go see the wall.
Full disclosure, Tucker Carlson has been on a trip to Israel before, so we got to ask him, did he pay for it?
You go see the sites, things like that.
It's such a great, I must say, it's such a great country. Jerusalem especially is just such a wonderful place that's got to have a big effect.
You go swim in the Dead Sea.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Not on an AIPAC trip, but
right.
I would recommend it to anyone.
Are you sure it wasn't an AIPAC trip?
I paid for it myself. No, I mean, It's just funny. I mean, I am like a legit lover of Israel, of the place Israel. I like the people and I love the food, and like the whole thing is so great.
Look,
but that's distinct from the government of Israel, which is just a foreign government.
My sense is the people are very entrepreneurial.
Totally.
They're publicly minded. You know, they care about their country. That they're generally good people, right?
That's certainly been my experience in trips there for sure. It's great. It's just I think it's probably one of my favorite, maybe my all-time favorite place to go with my family. But that's just a completely different thing from taking orders from its government.
Yeah. Exactly, 100%. Tucker Carlson had it. I think AIPAC should be outlawed. I mean, if the United States wants to eradicate corruption in Washington, I mean, you could lobby, just register as a foreign lobby entity. You cannot be an internal, a domestic lobbying group lobbying for Israel. Then you are a Jewish lobbying group, right? Because it's not Israeli. It's Jewish Americans, right? Lobbying for Israel. This is weird, man. If you look at the history of AIPAC, John F. Kennedy wanted it to be a foreign lobbying, to register as a foreign lobbying group, and he got assassinated before he can. So this is what you have there. We have the massacre this morning in Palestine, and all that stuff is going on. Now let's go to the next. The Great Hope. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, let me see if I could make ourselves together here, because I don't want it to overshadow me. This is Kathleen Clark. Now, Kathleen Clark is a gifted women basketball player. A lot of people say she is the Stephen Curry of the women basketball league, or the women in college. Now, she broke all the records in college. She did a lot of numbers. She didn't win the championship, but she is an incredibly gifted woman. The reason I called her the Great Hope is, the Great White Hope is, because in the 1980s and 90s, when boxing was dominated by Black Americans, like Tyson, like everybody, every time you have a white heavyweight will come to the scene, they're like, oh, this is the Great White Hope. He's going to take the championship. And the whole idea is, the reason is, Kathleen Clark just entered the WNBA as a rookie. So when you just moved from one level of basketball playing to a bigger, you're going to meet professionals, the women, full-grown women. She's just a young girl. She's small. She's rickety. She needs to put some weights on and things. But now everybody wants. They have turned it into a black and white. Oh, she's, every time somebody bumps into her, a black girl, oh, they hate her because she's white. No, Kathleen Clark is going to make money for the NBA, the WNBA. She's going to make money for those black girls who've been paid $75,000, $50,000 a year. There's a lot of attendance. Yesterday, 20,000 and change attended her game against the Washington. I watched it against the Washington Mystics. She scored 30 points and 7 3-pointers. I was watching the game. Let's watch PBDS by David.
You can stop it, Rob, right there. And then the whole Caitlin Clark. Rob, can you pull up the foul on Caitlin Clark and what's happened with the frenzy?
No, PBD is a podcast. I just cannot wrap my head around that. They have to do a whole segment on her being fouled.
Market reacting to this. So this video is Caitlin's about to get the inbound pass, and then she gets fouled. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go for it.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
And look at her teammates on the sides.
Big time content as the officials are going to take a look at what just transpired between Carter and Clark.
That's a dirty foul. That's not a basketball play.
In basketball, it's called a flagrant, right? A flagrant foul. She gets to shoot a point, or the player get ejected from the game. The reason what's going on right now, as a newcomer and as a rookie, she's overshadowing all the players, and she's got a $28 million deal with Nike. I mean, she's a millionaire already. So they're trying to, in a game, when you've been in that basketball court in your neighborhood. When I used to play basketball as a kid, you have, as you start, you got that one guy who fucking like punish you a little bit or push against you. So to install fear, so you will not play 100%. What that girl was doing was foul. I mean, it was disgusting, but it has nothing to do with black and white. All I had to do was, don't think you're all bad, all right? So they want to set the tone. That's what it's called in sports. It's called to set the tone. But let's continue to watch. But I'm watching the mindset of these people, how they think. They think along the line of racism. Why this girl is going to be the biggest basketball player in the WNBA. Maybe she's going to save the league.
But it's a dirty foul, right?
That's clearly.
And so you see this, you can stop it, Rob, right there. And then the whole NBA reacts to it. And yesterday on First Take, there was this lady on First Take yesterday upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years. And she's calling him out. And it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me. I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest.
How about being a black man?
Being
black.
Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. When you no. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A., I know you're going to. You just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too.